Gardening roles require practical expertise, passion for nature, and strong maintenance skills. These interview questions help employers understand your abilities, problem-solving mindset, and dedication to creating healthy, thriving outdoor environments. 1. What inspired you to become a gardener? I became inspired to become a gardener because I've always enjoyed working outdoors and connecting with nature. Gardening allows me to create beautiful spaces while contributing to healthier environments. Over time, I've gained satisfaction from nurturing plants, solving problems, and seeing long-term improvements. This role lets me combine creativity, physical work, and environmental responsibility. Ultimately, gardening feels meaningful, fulfilling, and aligned with my passion for natural growth and continuous learning. 2. How do you handle different types of soil? Handling different soil types begins with understanding their structure, drainage, and nutrient levels. I assess whether soil is sandy, clay-based, or loamy and make appropriate amendments. For poor soil, I add compost, organic matter, or sand to improve texture and fertility. I test pH when needed and adjust using lime or sulfur. My goal is always to create balanced, healthy soil that supports strong root development and plant growth. 3. What steps do you take to prepare a garden bed? Preparing a garden bed involves evaluating the soil, removing weeds, and adding compost or organic matter. I loosen the soil to improve air circulation and rooting depth. Then I level the area, ensure proper drainage, and create defined boundaries if needed. I consider sunlight exposure, plant spacing, and irrigation before planting. This preparation ensures plants establish well, grow healthily, and experience fewer issues throughout the growing season. 4. How do you choose plants for specific climates? Choosing plants for specific climates involves understanding local temperature ranges, precipitation, soil conditions, and seasonal patterns. I select plants with proven adaptability to those conditions, ensuring they require minimal intervention to thrive. I also consider sun exposure, wind patterns, and the garden's overall ecosystem. By choosing climate-appropriate species, I reduce maintenance needs and promote sustainable, long-lasting growth. This approach ensures healthy landscapes that remain resilient year-round. 5. What techniques do you use for weed control? For weed control, I use a combination of manual removal, mulching, and preventive planting. I eliminate weeds early before they seed, reducing future growth. Mulching helps suppress unwanted plants while retaining soil moisture. In larger areas, I may use landscape fabric or selective herbicides only when necessary and safe. I focus on soil health, plant density, and proper spacing to naturally reduce weed competition and maintain tidy gardens. 6. How do you maintain healthy grass lawns? Maintaining healthy lawns involves regular mowing, proper watering, aeration, fertilization, and weed prevention. I ensure grass is cut at the correct height to support strong roots. Aeration improves soil structure, allowing nutrients and water to penetrate effectively. I feed the lawn according to seasonal needs and monitor for pests or disease. Consistent care, including overseeding thin patches, ensures a lush, resilient, and attractive lawn throughout the year. 7. What is your experience with pruning trees and shrubs? My pruning experience includes shaping, thinning, and removing dead or diseased branches to promote healthier growth. I understand when each species should be pruned, whether during dormant or growing seasons. Proper pruning encourages better airflow, sunlight penetration, and structural stability. I use sharp, clean tools to prevent plant damage and follow safety procedures. Over time, regular pruning enhances plant longevity, appearance, and overall landscape quality. 8. How do you identify plant diseases? I identify plant diseases by examining symptoms such as discoloration, spots, wilting, distorted growth, or unusual patterns. I check soil quality, moisture levels, and recent weather conditions to understand potential causes. I compare symptoms to known disease profiles and use diagnostic guides when necessary. Early detection allows me to take action through pruning, improved nutrition, or applying appropriate treatments. This process helps maintain plant health and prevent widespread issues. 9. How do you handle pests in a garden? I begin by identifying the specific pest and evaluating the level of damage. Then I use the least invasive solution, starting with natural deterrents like neem oil or beneficial insects. I apply targeted treatments only when necessary and avoid harming pollinators. Maintaining plant health through proper watering and nutrition also reduces infestations. My goal is sustainable, effective pest control that preserves ecosystem balance and encourages long-term garden resilience. 10. What irrigation methods do you prefer and why? I prefer using drip irrigation and soaker hoses because they deliver water directly to the roots, reducing evaporation and waste. These systems support consistent moisture levels and prevent fungal issues caused by overhead watering. For lawns, I use sprinkler systems set to early morning hours. I evaluate each garden's layout, plant types, and soil conditions before choosing the irrigation method. Efficient watering ensures healthier plants and environmental sustainability. 11. How do you plan a seasonal planting schedule? Planning a seasonal schedule requires understanding frost dates, temperature shifts, and plant growth cycles. I categorize plants by cool season and warm season requirements and design the timeline accordingly. I also consider bloom succession to ensure year-round color and productivity. Crop rotation principles guide vegetable planting to prevent nutrient depletion. This careful planning maximizes garden performance, minimizes plant stress, and ensures a balanced, thriving landscape throughout all seasons. 12. What fertilizers do you use and why? I use fertilizers based on soil needs, choosing between organic materials like compost and commercial slow-release formulas. Organic fertilizers improve long-term soil structure while synthetic ones provide quick nutrient boosts. I apply balanced blends when needed and adjust nitrogen, phosphorus, or potassium levels based on plant requirements. My approach avoids over-fertilizing and supports steady, healthy growth. Understanding nutrient cycles helps me maintain vibrant gardens while protecting soil and environmental health. 13. How do you manage water conservation in gardening? Water conservation starts with selecting drought-tolerant plants, using mulch, and implementing efficient irrigation systems. I water deeply but less frequently to encourage strong root systems. Rainwater barrels help reduce dependence on local water supplies. I monitor weather patterns to avoid unnecessary watering and encourage soil health to improve moisture retention. These methods reduce waste and promote sustainable gardening practices that protect valuable water resources while maintaining healthy plant growth. 14. How do you work in extreme weather conditions? I plan gardening tasks strategically during extreme weather by working early mornings or late afternoons in heat, and wearing layered clothing during colder conditions. I hydrate frequently, take breaks, and follow safety practices such as using sunscreen and gloves. For plant care, I adapt techniques to protect growth, like mulching, shading, or covering sensitive species. Staying prepared ensures work gets done safely without compromising productivity or plant health. 15. What tools do you use most often? I regularly use tools like pruners, shears, trowels, shovels, rakes, wheelbarrows, and garden forks. For lawn care, I use mowers and edging tools. I maintain all tools carefully, keeping blades sharp and handles in good condition to ensure safety and effectiveness. Choosing the right tool for each task improves efficiency, reduces physical strain, and results in better gardening outcomes. Well-maintained equipment is essential for consistent, high-quality work. 16. How do you maintain garden tools? I maintain garden tools by cleaning them after each use, removing soil, and drying them thoroughly to prevent rust. I sharpen blades regularly for efficient cutting and apply oil to metal surfaces for protection. Wooden handles are inspected and treated when needed to prevent splitting. Proper storage keeps tools safe and organized. Consistent maintenance extends tool lifespan, ensures safety, and supports high-quality gardening results. 17. How do you approach landscape design? My landscape design approach begins with evaluating the space, soil conditions, sunlight, and the client's preferences. I consider plant color, texture, height, and seasonal interest to create balance and harmony. Functional aspects like pathways, drainage, and maintenance needs also shape the design. I choose sustainable plants suited to the environment. My goal is to create a visually appealing, practical, and easy-to-manage landscape that enhances the property's long-term beauty and health. 18. How do you plant and maintain flower beds? I prepare flower beds by improving the soil, ensuring proper drainage, and planting spacing. I choose flowers based on season, sunlight, and color combinations. After planting, I water properly, add mulch, and monitor for pests or diseases. Regular deadheading encourages continuous blooms, while fertilizing supports healthy growth. Seasonal adjustments and consistent care keep flower beds vibrant. My method ensures long-lasting beauty, strong plant development, and a clean, attractive garden layout. 19. How do you keep a garden organized and tidy? I maintain garden organization through routine tasks like trimming, deadheading, raking, weeding, and cleaning pathways. I keep tools stored properly and remove debris promptly. Mulch helps reduce weeds and creates a clean, uniform look. I plan plant placement to prevent overcrowding and ensure easy maintenance access. Consistent monitoring allows me to address problems early. A tidy garden not only looks beautiful but also supports healthier, more resilient plant growth. 20. How do you manage large garden areas efficiently? Managing large gardens efficiently requires structured planning, prioritizing tasks, and dividing areas into manageable sections. I schedule maintenance based on plant needs, weather, and seasonal demands. Using efficient tools like riding mowers or power trimmers saves time. I also implement irrigation systems to reduce manual watering. Regular inspections help identify issues early. This organized approach ensures consistent care, healthier landscapes, and efficient use of time and resources. 21. How do you work with garden layouts and blueprints? I interpret garden layouts and blueprints by reviewing measurements, plant placement, irrigation design, and structural elements. I ensure the plan aligns with site conditions before executing. I follow spacing guidelines, match plant species to designated areas, and adjust only when necessary based on real-world observations. Accuracy and attention to detail ensure the final garden matches the intended design. This process leads to cohesive, functional, and aesthetically pleasing outdoor environments. 22. How do you improve soil quality over time? I improve soil quality by adding organic matter like compost, manure, or leaf mulch. I rotate crops in edible gardens to prevent nutrient depletion. Cover crops help build soil structure while regular pH testing guides amendments. I avoid chemical overuse and encourage beneficial organisms. Over time, these methods create nutrient-rich, balanced soil with improved drainage and aeration. Healthy soil leads to stronger plants, better yields, and reduced maintenance issues. 23. What experience do you have with raised beds? I have extensive experience building, planting, and maintaining raised beds. I choose quality materials, ensure proper drainage, and fill them with a rich soil blend. Raised beds allow better control over weeds, pests, and soil fertility. I design them for accessibility and productivity, particularly for vegetables or herbs. Regular maintenance includes watering, fertilizing, and crop rotation. Raised beds create organized, efficient growing spaces that deliver strong performance and easy upkeep. 24. How do you protect plants during winter? Protecting plants in winter involves mulching, wrapping trunks, covering frost-sensitive plants, and moving containers indoors when necessary. I prune carefully to prevent winter damage and ensure proper airflow. I monitor weather forecasts to take timely action and use insulation methods like burlap or frost cloth. Proper hydration before freezes helps roots stay healthy. These strategies prevent cold damage and promote strong regrowth when spring arrives. 25. How do you manage composting systems? I manage composting systems by balancing green materials like food scraps with brown materials such as leaves. I maintain moisture, aerate regularly, and monitor temperature for proper decomposition. I avoid adding harmful items that can disrupt the process. Finished compost is screened and applied to garden beds to enrich soil. This system reduces waste, improves plant health, and supports sustainable gardening practices. Composting is vital for a thriving and eco-friendly landscape. 26. How do you choose the right mulch for a garden? Choosing mulch depends on plant type, climate, and maintenance goals. Organic mulches like wood chips enrich soil over time, while gravel or stones work well for dry gardens. I consider color and texture to match landscape design. Mulch helps conserve moisture, suppress weeds, and protect roots. I apply the correct depth to avoid plant stress. Selecting the right mulch enhances garden appearance and supports long-term plant health and soil improvement. 27. What is your experience with vegetable gardening? My vegetable gardening experience includes preparing beds, planning crop rotation, and choosing appropriate varieties for each season. I manage watering, fertilizing, and pest control using organic methods when possible. I monitor plant health, harvest at peak times, and maintain soil fertility with compost and mulch. I design efficient layouts for maximum yield. Vegetable gardening requires consistent care, and I enjoy the process of nurturing plants that provide fresh, healthy produce. 28. How do you deal with overgrown gardens? I approach overgrown gardens by assessing plant health, removing dead or invasive growth, and restoring structure through pruning and cleanup. I clear pathways, identify plants worth saving, and re-establish garden borders. After initial cleanup, I improve soil, redefine beds, and introduce sustainable planting practices. I create a maintenance plan to prevent future overgrowth. This systematic approach transforms neglected spaces into manageable, attractive, and thriving gardens with long-term potential. 29. How do you maintain garden safety? Garden safety involves using proper tools, wearing protective gear, and keeping pathways clear of obstacles. I handle chemicals responsibly, store equipment securely, and follow safe lifting practices. I work carefully around sharp tools and machinery. For others in the area, I set boundaries and ensure they avoid hazardous zones. Maintaining safety reduces accidents, protects plants, and ensures smooth operations. A safe garden environment supports productivity and professional, responsible work habits. 30. What is your experience with greenhouses? My greenhouse experience includes maintaining temperature, humidity, and ventilation for optimal plant growth. I manage seed starting, propagation, and year-round cultivation. I monitor pests closely and use targeted treatments when needed. I adjust watering schedules based on seasonal changes and plant requirements. Greenhouses help extend growing seasons and protect delicate varieties. Proper management ensures healthy, vigorous plants that adapt well when transferred outdoors. This controlled environment enhances gardening efficiency and success. 31. How do you determine proper plant spacing? I determine plant spacing by considering mature size, growth habits, and sunlight needs. I refer to species guidelines and plan bed layouts accordingly to prevent overcrowding. Proper spacing improves air circulation, reduces disease, and allows each plant enough resources. It also enhances overall garden aesthetics and reduces maintenance. I adjust spacing for environmental factors like soil quality or shade. This careful planning supports healthier, more productive, and visually appealing gardens. 32. How do you reduce garden maintenance costs? I reduce maintenance costs by choosing low-maintenance plants, using efficient irrigation, and improving soil health to minimize fertilizer needs. Mulch helps reduce water use and weed growth. I repair tools instead of replacing them and avoid overusing chemicals. Composting provides free soil amendments. Designing smart layouts with long-lasting plants also decreases future expenses. These practices maintain quality while ensuring the garden remains cost-effective and environmentally responsible in the long run. 33. How do you manage hedges and bushes? I manage hedges and bushes through regular trimming that maintains their shape and encourages dense, healthy growth. I prune at appropriate seasons depending on the plant type. I remove dead or diseased branches and ensure proper spacing for airflow. I monitor soil nutrition and water needs, and mulch the base for moisture retention. Consistent care helps hedges stay attractive and strong. Well-maintained hedges enhance property boundaries and overall landscape structure. 34. What is your process for planting trees properly? Planting trees begins with selecting healthy specimens and choosing a suitable location with proper sunlight and soil conditions. I dig a wide, shallow hole, ensuring the root flare remains visible. I backfill with native soil, water thoroughly, and apply mulch while avoiding the trunk. I stake only when necessary. After planting, I monitor moisture and growth. Proper tree planting establishes strong roots, encourages stability, and supports long-term healthy development. 35. How do you handle sloped gardens? Sloped gardens require erosion control, proper plant selection, and strategic design. I use terraces, retaining structures, or ground covers to stabilize soil. I choose deep-rooted or spreading plants that hold the slope effectively. Mulch and strategic watering help reduce runoff. I design pathways and beds that follow the natural contour for easier maintenance. This thoughtful approach turns slopes into functional, Beautiful spaces that remain stable, safe, and environmentally resilient. 36. How do you ensure plants receive the right amount of sunlight? I evaluate sunlight exposure by observing the area throughout the day and noting full sun, partial shade, or full shade patterns. I match plant requirements with these conditions to ensure optimal growth. I avoid placing shade-loving plants in harsh sun or sun-loving plants in deep shade. I adjust garden layouts when needed and use shading structures for sensitive plants. Ensuring proper sunlight improves plant health, bloom production, and overall garden success. 37. How do you prevent soil erosion? I prevent erosion using mulch, ground covers, terracing, and proper drainage systems. Plants with strong root systems anchor soil effectively, especially on slopes. I direct water flow away from vulnerable areas and incorporate barriers when needed. Maintaining soil structure through organic matter also helps reduce erosion. These strategies protect garden layouts, preserve nutrients, and create a more stable environment. Effective erosion control supports plant health and landscape longevity. 38. What is your experience with organic gardening? My organic gardening experience includes using natural fertilizers, compost, and environmentally friendly pest control methods. I focus on building healthy soil and selecting disease-resistant plant varieties. I avoid synthetic chemicals and encourage beneficial insects and biodiversity. Crop rotation and mulching help maintain balance. Organic gardening promotes long-term environmental health and supports clean, sustainable food production. I enjoy working with natural processes to create thriving gardens that minimize ecological impact. 39. How do you create a pollinator-friendly garden? I create pollinator-friendly gardens by choosing nectar-rich flowers, planting in clusters, and providing continuous blooms across seasons. I avoid pesticides and offer water sources, shelter, and native plants. I consider bees, butterflies, and other beneficial insects when designing layouts. Diversity in plant shapes, colors, and heights encourages more pollinators. These practices support ecosystems, improve plant production, and create vibrant, lively gardens that contribute positively to local wildlife health. 40. How do you restore damaged or neglected soil? Restoring damaged soil involves adding compost, organic matter, and mineral amendments based on soil tests. I aerate compacted areas and introduce cover crops to rebuild structure. Avoiding chemicals supports microbial recovery. Mulching protects soil from temperature extremes and improves moisture retention. Over time, these practices revitalize soil fertility and stability. Healthy soil becomes the foundation for strong, resilient plants and a thriving garden environment that requires less long-term intervention. 41. How do you handle customer preferences and requests? I listen carefully to customer preferences, ask clarifying questions, and review their goals. I offer professional recommendations while respecting their vision. I explain practical considerations such as plant suitability, maintenance levels, and costs. Clear communication helps avoid misunderstandings. I provide updates during projects and adjust plans when necessary. Building trust ensures clients are satisfied with the final result. This collaborative approach creates landscapes that reflect their style and meet functional needs. 42. What is your experience with water features? My experience with water features includes maintaining ponds, fountains, and small waterfalls. I ensure proper filtration, manage algae, and keep pumps functioning efficiently. I monitor water quality and remove debris regularly. I also consider plant placement to enhance natural aesthetics around water features. Safe electrical installation and proper water flow are priorities. Water features add beauty and serenity to gardens, and consistent maintenance ensures they remain clean, functional, and visually appealing. 43. How do you ensure proper drainage in a garden? Ensuring proper drainage involves evaluating soil type, slope, and water flow patterns. I install drainage systems like French drains or create channels that guide excess water away. Adding organic matter improves soil structure and prevents waterlogging. Raised beds or strategic grading help manage areas with persistent moisture. Proper drainage protects plant roots, prevents erosion, and maintains overall garden health. This attention to water management ensures long-term stability and vibrant plant growth. 44. How do you work with native plants? Working with native plants involves selecting species naturally adapted to local climates and soil conditions. These plants require less water, fewer chemicals, and minimal maintenance. I research regional ecosystems to choose supportive combinations that enhance biodiversity. Native plants attract pollinators, strengthen habitats, and create sustainable landscapes. I design garden layouts that highlight their natural beauty while ensuring proper placement. This approach produces resilient, environmentally friendly gardens that thrive with fewer resources. 45. How do you build garden pathways? I build garden pathways by planning layout, preparing the ground, and choosing durable materials like gravel, stone, or pavers. I ensure proper leveling and add a solid base for stability. Edging prevents shifting over time. I consider usability, aesthetics, and drainage when designing. Well-constructed pathways contribute to garden structure, accessibility, and visual appeal. They help guide visitors through spaces in a safe, organized, and attractive manner that complements the overall landscape. 46. What is your experience with garden lighting? My experience with garden lighting includes installing solar, low voltage, and LED fixtures to highlight pathways, plants, and architectural features. I design lighting that enhances safety and nighttime aesthetics without overwhelming the space. I position lights thoughtfully to reduce glare and energy consumption. Proper wiring and waterproof components ensure long-term reliability. Lighting transforms gardens into functional evening environments that remain inviting, secure, and beautiful after sunset. 47. How do you prioritize tasks during busy seasons? I prioritize tasks by assessing urgency, plant needs, weather conditions, and client deadlines. I focus on time-sensitive tasks like watering, pruning, and seasonal planting first. I break larger projects into smaller steps to stay organized. Clear scheduling and efficient workflow help prevent delays. Communication with clients ensures expectations remain aligned. Prioritizing effectively keeps gardens healthy and maintains productivity during peak seasons when workload increases significantly. 48. How do you keep up with gardening trends and techniques? I stay updated by reading horticulture publications, attending workshops, and following expert gardeners and organizations. I experiment with new techniques in controlled settings before applying them broadly. I also observe changes in climate, pests, and plant varieties to adapt accordingly. Continuous learning helps me deliver modern, sustainable solutions. Staying informed ensures my work remains innovative, efficient, and aligned with industry standards and customer expectations. 49. How do you handle working independently? I work independently by organizing tasks, setting priorities, and managing time efficiently. I stay focused and motivated without requiring constant supervision. I assess garden conditions, make decisions, and solve problems proactively. When necessary, I communicate updates and clarify expectations with supervisors or clients. Working independently allows me to deliver consistent, high-quality results while maintaining productivity. This autonomy helps me stay accountable and ensures projects progress smoothly and responsibly. 50. Why should we hire you as a gardener? You should hire me because I bring strong practical skills, a deep passion for gardening, and a commitment to quality. I understand plant care, soil management, seasonal maintenance, and efficient problem solving. I work responsibly, communicate effectively, and maintain high standards in every task. My experience ensures healthier gardens and satisfied clients. I take pride in creating beautiful landscapes that thrive long-term, making me a reliable and valuable addition to your team. These gardener interview questions and answers highlight essential skills, practical knowledge, and passion for maintaining healthy landscapes. Preparing thoroughly helps you present confidence, professionalism, and genuine expertise.